Welcome to our in-depth exploration of one of the most baffling disappearances in modern history. This is the case of Joan Risch, a woman whose sudden vanishing in 1961 has left investigators and the public alike scratching their heads for decades. Joan Risch was a seemingly ordinary housewife living in Lincoln, Massachusetts. She was married to Martin Risch, an executive at a paper company, and the couple had two young children, Lillian and David. Joan had a background in English literature, having graduated from Wilson College, and she had previously worked in publishing before dedicating herself to her family. On the surface, Joan's life seemed idyllic, but on October 24, 1961, everything changed. Joan Risch vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of blood and a plethora of unanswered questions. In this video, we'll delve deep into the details of her mysterious disappearance, explore the theories and speculations that have arisen over the years, and examine the evidence that continues to puzzle both amateur sleuths and professional investigators. Now, let's dive into the heart of the mystery, the day Joan Risch vanished in broad daylight. As we dive deeper into Joan Risch's mysterious disappearance, it's crucial to piece together the events of that fateful day, October 24th, 1961. The day started like any other. Joan's husband, Martin, left for a business trip early in the morning, leaving Joan alone with their two children. Around 9:00 a.m., Joan dropped her son, David, off at the babysitter's and then returned home with her daughter, Lillian. At approximately 11:15 a.m., Joan was seen by a neighbor, Barbara Barker, who noticed Joan walking up her driveway, holding something red. This would be the last confirmed sighting of Joan. Around 2:00 p.m., Barbara Barker's daughter came home from school and saw Joan's car in the driveway. However, when Barbara went to check on Joan around 4:00 p.m., she found an alarming scene. The kitchen was spattered with blood, the phone was off the hook, and Joan was nowhere to be found. Lillian, who was only 4 years old, said her mother had been in the kitchen and was gone. Eyewitness accounts further complicate the story. Multiple neighbors reported seeing a blue car parked outside the Risch home throughout the day. Some even claimed to have seen an unknown man around the property. Despite these sightings, no one saw Joan leave the house. By the time Martin returned home that evening, the police were already investigating the scene. Theories began to swirl. Had Joan been abducted, or had she staged her own disappearance? As we move forward, we'll examine these theories in detail, but the timeline of October 24th, 1961, remains a crucial piece of this enduring puzzle. What really happened to Joan Risch? As we move forward in the story of Joan Risch's disappearance, the initial reactions and actions taken by her family and the authorities play a pivotal role. Upon discovering the alarming scene in the kitchen, Barbara Barker immediately contacted the police. The authorities arrived swiftly, and the investigation began in earnest. The crime scene was perplexing. Blood smears were found in various parts of the kitchen, leading to the driveway. The phone was off the hook, and the house was in a state of disarray, with items seemingly scattered in haste. The bloodstains, however, were puzzling. They were not consistent with a violent struggle, but rather suggested that Joan might have been injured and attempted to leave the house. The authorities questioned neighbors and family members to gather any possible leads. Martin Risch, Joan's husband, was in shock and provided the police with everything he knew about Joan's activities and acquaintances. The neighbors' accounts of a mysterious blue car and an unknown man added layers to the mystery but provided no concrete direction. The police also discovered Joan's cryptic note in her diary, which mentioned plans and thoughts that seemed out of place for a routine day. Theories began to form. Was this an abduction, or had Joan orchestrated her own disappearance? The investigation was in full swing, but the answers remained elusive. As the investigation progressed, the authorities unearthed several key pieces of evidence that only deepened the mystery of Joan Risch's disappearance. Let's take a closer look at these clues and the theories that emerged. First, the bloodstains in the kitchen. While they indicated that Joan might have been injured, the pattern did not align with a violent struggle. Instead, it seemed as though she had been bleeding and moving around the house, perhaps trying to leave. This led some to speculate that Joan may have been attempting to escape from someone or something. Then, there was the cryptic note found in Joan's diary. The note mentioned plans and thoughts that seemed out of place for a routine day. Did Joan have a secret life that no one knew about? Was she planning to leave her family and start anew? This theory gained traction as investigators dug deeper into her past, but found no concrete evidence to support it. The neighbors' accounts added another layer to the puzzle. Several witnesses reported seeing a mysterious blue car parked outside Joan's house on the day of her disappearance. Some even claimed to have seen an unknown man near the property. Was this person involved in Joan's disappearance, or was it a mere coincidence? As the clues piled up, so did the theories. Some believed that Joan had staged her own disappearance to escape an unhappy life. Others were convinced that she had been abducted by a stranger or someone she knew. The truth, however, remained elusive. In the absence of definitive answers, the case grew colder with each passing year. Theories continued to swirl, but none could conclusively explain what happened to Joan Risch. Was she the architect of her own vanishing act, or was she the victim of foul play? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving us to ponder the possibilities. Up next, we delve into the broader implications of Joan's disappearance and how it continues to haunt those who seek the truth. As investigators delved deeper into Joan Risch's life, they uncovered an intriguing detail that added a new dimension to the mystery. Joan had checked out several books from the local library in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. These books were not your typical light reading. They were focused on disappearances and how to start a new life. Was Joan researching for a personal project, or was she planning her own vanishing act? The titles included Into Thin Air and Without a Trace, both of which detailed real-life cases of people who had intentionally disappeared. This discovery led investigators to question whether Joan's disappearance was premeditated. Could she have been inspired by these stories to orchestrate her own escape? Adding to the intrigue, Joan's past held its own share of secrets. Born as Joan Bard, she had experienced a tumultuous childhood. Her parents died in a mysterious fire when she was just 9 years old, an event that left a lasting impact on her. After being adopted by relatives, Joan seemed to lead a relatively normal life. But could the trauma of her early years have influenced her actions decades later? Friends and family described Joan as a devoted wife and mother, but they also noted that she possessed a certain restlessness, a desire for something more. Could this have driven her to plan an elaborate disappearance? While the library books and Joan's past provided tantalizing clues, they also raised more questions. Did she really intend to vanish, or were the books merely a coincidence? And if she did plan her own escape, where did she go, and why has she never resurfaced? As we piece together the fragments of Joan Risch's life, we begin to see a portrait of a woman who may have been living a double life, one filled with plans and secrets that even those closest to her could never have imagined. The mystery deepens as we continue to explore the enigma that is Joan Risch. As news of Joan Risch's disappearance spread, the community and authorities sprang into action. A massive search operation was launched, involving local police, volunteers, and even the National Guard. The wooded areas, rivers, and abandoned buildings around Lincoln, Massachusetts, were combed meticulously. Bloodhounds were brought in to trace Joan's scent, but their efforts led to a dead end. Despite their exhaustive search, no trace of Joan was found. The media quickly picked up on the story, and Joan Risch's face was plastered across newspapers and television screens. Headlines screamed of the mysterious disappearance, and the public was captivated by the unfolding drama. Theories and speculations ran rampant. Some believed Joan had been abducted, while others thought she had run away to start a new life. The discovery of the library books added fuel to the fire, leading to even wilder conjectures. Public reaction was a mix of fear and fascination. Neighbors were on high alert, locking their doors and keeping a close eye on their children. Community meetings were held to discuss safety measures, and everyone seemed to have their own theory about what had happened to Joan. Some locals even reported seeing suspicious characters or vehicles in the days leading up to her disappearance, but these leads went nowhere. The case also drew attention from amateur sleuths and true crime enthusiasts who delved into Joan's life, trying to piece together the puzzle. Despite the widespread interest and numerous tips that poured in, the investigation remained at a standstill. Joan Risch had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of questions and very few answers. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the search efforts dwindled, but the public's fascination with the case did not. Joan Risch became a local legend, a mystery that haunted the town of Lincoln. Even today, her disappearance remains one of the most perplexing unsolved cases, a grim reminder of how someone can vanish in broad daylight, leaving behind only questions and heartbreak. As time has passed, advancements in technology and forensic science have opened new avenues in understanding cold cases like Joan Risch's disappearance. Modern analysts and detectives have revisited the case with fresh eyes, utilizing techniques that were unavailable in the 1960s. The disappearance of Joan Risch has left an indelible mark not only on her family, but also on the entire community of Lincoln, Massachusetts. Joan's husband, Martin, and their children were thrust into a lifetime of unanswered questions and emotional turmoil. The community, once a serene suburban enclave, found itself gripped by fear and suspicion. This case has far-reaching implications that extend beyond the immediate circle of those who knew Joan. In the decades since her disappearance, Joan's case has been featured in numerous books, documentaries, and even podcasts, cementing her story in the annals of true crime lore. Moreover, Joan Risch's case has had a significant impact on law enforcement practices. The apparent gaps in the initial investigation have led to calls for improved protocols in handling missing persons cases. This includes better evidence preservation, more rigorous interviewing techniques, and the early involvement of forensic experts. The legacy of Joan Risch serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of diligence and empathy in both community life and investigative work. Her story continues to evoke a sense of collective longing for closure, driving modern analysts and amateur sleuths alike to seek the truth behind her mysterious disappearance. As we delve deeper into true crime mysteries, we are reminded that behind every case is a human life, a family, and a community forever changed. As we come to the end of our exploration of Joan Risch's mysterious disappearance, we're left with more questions than answers. Joan's case remains one of the most perplexing mysteries in true crime history. Despite extensive investigations, numerous theories, and modern analysis, the truth about what happened to Joan Risch has remained elusive. Her disappearance has not only impacted her family and community, but has also captivated the minds of true crime enthusiasts and experts for decades. The bloodstains, the phone off the hook, the cryptic note, all these elements create a puzzle that seems almost impossible to solve. We invite you to share your own theories and thoughts in the comments below. Could Joan have planned her own escape, or was she the victim of foul play? Your insights and perspectives are invaluable as we continue to seek the truth behind this haunting case. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most enduring mysteries of our time. Stay tuned for more true crime stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep seeking the truth.